Bitcoin has already seen quite a substantial crash, but I've got some reason to believe that we could be looking at dropping far, far lower if we end up falling below $20,000. And I'm going to be talking to you about that in this video, but in order to give you guys that analysis, we actually need to talk about Ethereum. Now, this is that very highly anticipated video that I was telling you guys about over the last 1 or 2 days. Thank you all for the support, hitting up the like button, subscribing to the YouTube channel and all that. This is a big, big deal. This is all about how Ethereum actually set its all-time high at $1,400 back here in January of 2018. This was the previous, big bull cycle. And since then, one of the long-standing theories has been that, Ethereum is potentially, there's two camps to this, that Ethereum, if it rises above this all-time high, is never going to come back below that all-time high, or it's definitely going to come back below that all-time high. And now, we can see what's happened. It's actually been the case that we have fallen below that previous all-time high, and not by a little bit, all right? If we measure this in terms of a percentage move, from that breakout point to our low, we fell by a further 23%, and that is absolutely huge. Not only did we fall by that much, but we even had the daily close far below this line. So for all intents and purposes, this is not a fake out. This is a real breakout to the downside, and it's bad. It is a sign, essentially, that our previous all-time high, for Ethereum specifically, is not enough protection. It's just not enough. It's not able to sustain the market and keep the market higher. And so the concern here is we flip this to Bitcoin. We look at Bitcoin, and obviously Bitcoin is in a somewhat different position because it hasn't reached its previous all-time high yet. Its previous all-time high was at $20,000, and we're still, today we came really fucking close. Today we came down to 20,800. Take a look at this, the OHLC, specifically the L up here. We came down to $20,817 on this Gemini chart, and that's low. That is quite low. That's very, very close. But the whole idea here is that if we do end up falling below the $20,000 level, if we do end up coming down to the $20,000 level, because Ethereum has already breached it, and Ethereum is still, let's not forget, ladies and gents. I want to make sure we've got a little bit of perspective on this. Bitcoin is a market that's currently worth, with its market cap, $426 billion. Ethereum's worth $147. So obviously, there's quite a big difference there. It's like $300 billion odd dollars smaller, for Ethereum, but if we look at this in terms of, percentage scales, not just a linear scale, compare it to the next coin down, which is Binance. Obviously USDC and Tether don't count because they're stable coins. The next coin down, 36 billion. The next one down, that's Binance USD, never mind. Next one down, 17 bill, 15 bill, 10 bill. These are big coins in the crypto space, Ethereum and Bitcoin. And so if Ethereum has already breached its prior all-time high, it's dropped far below it, to me, that means it's very much on the cards, it's very much on the table that Bitcoin could do the same thing. And it gets worse. I hate to be the bringer of bad news here, but realistic analysis is exactly that. It is realistic in the face of your emotions. It doesn't matter how you feel about what I'm saying. That's not going to change reality, right? And that's exactly what we're bringing forward on this YouTube channel. If you do appreciate that, do me a favor and just smash up the likes right here. If you haven't done so already, make sure you are subscribed to this YouTube channel if you're enjoying this content as well. And if you do want to jump into 𝗪fly's VIP, unfortunately I don't have the steps on screen right now, but it's the first link in the description down below. We're running a huge 50% off discount right now. That's half price, so take a look at that with the first link in the description down below if you want to jump inside during these very, very hot times in the market. I've got 2 or 3 trades planned out right now, and VIPs get all the information on every single trade that I want to be making. They've already been filled in on the details, and when I decide to actually set orders for them and so on, that's also going to be shared inside of VIP as well. So the whole process with all the exact numbers of what I'm doing, very, very in-depth. First link in the description, and that's where you'll see the steps to join. But right here, what kind of makes the situation worse for Ethereum, in my opinion, is that if we do look at this previous all-time high right here with this green line, this was the all-time high that Ethereum managed to set, but below it there's not really much support that I'm able to see on this chart. When it hit this all-time high, we're on the daily time frame. Let's just put this in perspective. It took 3 days to fall down to the $700-800 level, and then we saw a little bit of a bounce up, but again, it took maybe just over a week to fall back down to the same level, and we basically consolidated here, found a little bit of support for the next little bit, basically from early February to early March, so about 1 month. We were kind of just finding support off this yellow box, and then we ended up dipping below this level, and that's where it turned into resistance. So it's safe to say that the $800 level is quite a significant area on this chart, and it's also safe to say that there's no real support between $1,400 and $800. There's this one reversal right here, one reversal right here. I guess you could say that because of that, there's some support around, I don't know, the $1,100 level. But guys, let's be fucking real. Let's just level ourselves and be real with what's going on. There is no real support until, you know, like, look at all the interaction that the $800 level has had, right? I mean, this is genuinely a significant area in the market, not 1,100, not 1,200 or anything like that. And so essentially what we've done here is, by collapsing below that previous all-time high, we've now also triggered potentially a second further drop down to the $800 level. And if we measure what this looks like in terms of a percentage drop, that's a 40% drop. Okay, if Bitcoin saw the same kind of drop from $20,000, that would put us at $12,000. So that gives you something to think about. From that previous all-time high down to our low, like I said, we've already dropped by about 20%. And the reason that you've seen the $14,000 level on my on the title of this video is because if we look at where Bitcoin's area of support is on this chart, it's at $14,000. And I know you're going to hate me for saying this, but again, you're never getting me filtering myself on this YouTube channel. I'm sorry. This is, as far as I can see, and 14 is still a bit of a stretch, to be honest with you guys. It is still, I mean, I'm being generous here by calling it 14, but if we do look at this chart and just try and identify where, you know, some of this resistance and so on was in the past, I just want to draw this for you guys right here at this 14k level. Bam, something a little bit like this. And so it really, the range, in my opinion, and everyone's going to define this differently, but the way I've always been talking about this range is that it stretches between $12,000 and $14,000, all right? And that's the kind of range that I'm seeing. And the reason I'm saying this is that, other than the importance of the all-time high right here with this green line that I've just dropped, I don't see any real interaction with any support level until we fall down to the 14k level right here. This is where the first real bounce came from, and we actually got 2, if not 3 bounces off this level, and as soon as we dropped below it, we back tested it, got that kiss of death, and then basically halved in value. Okay, so this area caused Bitcoin to drop massively. It gave us a fairly decent reaction rally as well right here. This was a 37% rally within a very short space of time. But perhaps even more importantly than all of that, the next, you know, kind of mini bull market we had ended right at the $14,000 level. Then when we were breaking up, we started pausing right at the $14,000 level. So in terms of levels that are significant below $20,000, it's not the best. I actually think that the best area is going to be basically just a 12k like area, just like around here, and then I draw this with a different box to represent that these are actually separate areas. This is more like $11,000 to $12,000. This is what I would consider to be the best area of support for Bitcoin right now that we have available. But below 20,000, of course, 20,000 I would expect to be very strong, and I'll get to that in just a minute. I already know that quite a few people are upset, and that's completely fine because we don't give a fuck about these kind of things on this YouTube channel. But right here, with this $14,000 level, you know, I am potentially seeing this being the only next area of support that Bitcoin has if it ends up dropping. One of my favorite YouTubers, 𝗪𝗘𝗪𝗘, let me just type his name on screen right here, was actually talking about the exact same thing. Of course, we were aware of this, but we've just had no reason to talk about it until now because it's, well, we weren't trading at $22,000 a few days ago. But, you know, the issue is, and actually we have said this before, is that there isn't, yeah, I mean, you know, 20k I would expect to be support, right? I mean, I'd be quite surprised if we just fall flat right through it. That would actually be quite a lot. You know, I mean, I don't necessarily think that the market needs to do that or that the market will do that, but if it did, yeah, I mean, it's hard to expect support. And, you know, I think it's foolish to think that this won't happen to us, because it's already happened to Ethereum, right? And so if it's already happened to Ethereum, which is another major coin, that kind of like already shows us that, again, like I said towards the beginning of this video, this is on the cards. You know, this is something that the market is willing to do. And if that's the case, well, you know, we need to be aware of that. We need to make sure that we're not ignoring facts and realities like this. Now, obviously, all of this makes it super, super juicy to trade. There's so many opportunities flying left, right, and center in this market. And guys, I just got to highlight it again. I'm using Bybit to make all of these trades. Here's Binance coin right here. This is one of the coins that I'm very close to trading, and I've already shared the details for that inside of VIP. They have a lot of coins. It's a great platform, mainly geared towards leverage traders for now. But they also have a big spot market. So spot market means if you just normally buy and sell Bitcoin. Leverage means if you buy and sell Bitcoin, but with leverage, so you know, one step further. And they do both very, very well. Super stable exchange, super secure. I've never had a problem with them. Been working with them for years, been using them for even longer, and it is a phenomenal exchange. And the best part about them is that when you sign up using my link in the description down below, you're going to get some extra cash for free deposited into your account. So go ahead and check that out. If you like free money, all you have to do is use my sign up link. By now, since I started talking about Bybit, you would be done. You would already be registered, and make your first deposit. And that's all you need to get some free cash deposited into your account. Whether you use it or not is up to you, but it's going to be there and it's free money. So definitely take advantage of it while that offer is available to you. And by the way, once more, just want to remind you guys that VIP is 50% off. So if you're interested in that, that's going to be the first link in the description down below. Let's just zoom in a little bit further on Bitcoin now. I am going to give you guys a little bit more analysis on these markets later on today, most likely that Celsius video coming up as well. So if you're excited for that, smash up the likes, make sure you're subscribed as well. But before I get onto that next video of the day, I just want to wrap this one up by talking about how Bitcoin has been performing since you know, it's slipped down further into the low $20,000 range. The big problem that I'm seeing right now, and it's actually already been confirmed somewhat, is that by losing this 22 to 24k area of support, we now potentially have it as resistance. Okay, so we've already been rejected by it once right here. We're potentially getting ready to test it again. Will we get rejected again? I don't know, but this is an area to potentially expect a little bit of resistance. If we're able to climb above $24,000, then what I said yesterday still stands true. I still expect that if we're able to get above 24, we should be able to make a pretty easy rise up to 27 and 29 and so on. This is actually one of the best parts about the range, is, you know, you guys have constantly heard me warning you guys about how, you know, if the market does end up losing you know, this 30k level, basically just around here, if the market, this is 28, 29, whatever, it doesn't really matter. I was always saying that if the market does end up losing like these kind of support areas right here, we're probably going to collapse pretty quickly. Obviously we were bang on correct about that. That's a very easy prediction to make, and my god, if you were watching analysts and they didn't tell you this, you need to really reconsider who you're getting your information from, because this is quite basic technical analysis. And the good news about this is that if we can drop very quickly in this kind of range, we can also rise up very quickly in this kind of range, and that is obviously quite useful you know, in circumstances like this. And so if we are able to break that $24,000 level, I would certainly be expecting that we are going to be able to make that climb back up into the mid to high 20k range pretty quickly. That's still on the cards because this drop is quite fresh, and because we're just way too fucking extreme, right? I've been saying this for a while. I'm not changing my mind on this, guys. I mean, I just want to remind you guys, the last time that I was so vocally against the trend, warning that, you know, look, this can keep dropping lower. I'm prepared if it does. I mean, in the previous case, it was up. I was saying this can keep on moving in this unreasonable direction. I'm prepared for it if it does, but this is not sustainable. Expect something big to happen to snap this shit back to reality, to ground it temporarily, you know, because right now it's flying way too close to the sun in terms of, you know, just bears getting cocky, you know, people, you know, just getting way too fearful, you know, fear and greed index registering a reading of 8, today, and obviously this is going to update again in 10 hours, but the last time I was talking about this was on this rally right here, and I was warning about how this area could turn out to be another market top just like this, because they actually shared some characteristics. Let me know in the comments if you were subscribed to this YouTube channel back then, because we were pretty much on point with that prediction. I did make a mistake at the very end, on the last day when we set the all-time high. I changed my mind and I became bullish, and I actually made a trade and lost money. So that was quite a combination of bad decisions that I made right at the last day. But I was staying true to it and obviously me losing money isn't a big deal. I mean, I'm not trading with ridiculous sums of money where if I lose money on one trade it bankrupts me or anything. I have risk management. This is what trading consists of, is analyzing the market and exercising risk management. And if you exercise risk management, you should never ever be hurt by any individual loss. If you're hurt by an individual loss, not only are you losing money, but you're also losing your mental clarity, and that is going to cost you a lot more money, and that's going to cost you a lot more mental clarity, and it's a vicious circle. And so the only solution is trade with money that you're comfortable losing, and that's why on any individual trade, you're never going to see me happy, you're never going to see me upset. I'm always just rock solid, steady, and neutral in my mindset. That's the only way you can be a trader over the long term, and actually it's the only way you can be a trader full stop. It's just that you won't survive into the long term if you don't have this trait. This is straight up fact. You can't find an exception, trust me. I tried, because I started out as a trader when I was an irrational 15-year-old, and it doesn't work. This was the time where I was saying that things are getting a little bit too extreme in terms of upward movement in the price, in the market, with this price action without any real correction, without any real pauses or anything like that. And now I'm saying the same thing again. This has gotten far too extreme. It's just not sustainable. Let's actually take a look at the fear and greed levels as well. We're looking at kind of mid to late October and early November. I'm curious to see what we had on the fear and greed index at this point right here. So mid to late October, we were pretty high up, peaking, and we were definitely in greedy territory. We were sometimes reaching extreme greed, and then at the beginning of November, we were again pretty much in extreme greed as well. So we were on the opposite end of extremes. Right now, we're actually deeper on the fear side of the extreme. That's that's a very, very important point to note. We never got this close to a 100 reading. Like today. Today we're at a reading of 8. We're only 8 points away from a reading of 0, and I don't even think this chart can print a 0. But that's going to give you some idea, and it's very arbitrary. I mean, if you pause the video, you can read what data sources they use to come to these fear and greed numbers. But I think that it's a pretty decent formula, and I mean, I'm in the space, I talk to people all the time. I've generally found that these numbers match reality, generally, and the thing is yeah, we just haven't been this extreme on the upside compared to where we are right now. And again, fear is a very powerful emotion. Fear is perhaps the most powerful emotion, but it's still it has not but I shouldn't have said but, and because of that, it can impact the market quite a lot. It can impact the market quite a lot. At the end of the day, though, even knowing how strong of an emotion fear is, even knowing how extreme of an emotion fear is, markets don't move down in straight lines forever. Okay, they do get reaction rallies, and we've got the perfect time to start run right now. The ultimate litmus test for if we're going to get a reaction rally is simply, do people think we're going to get a reaction rally? And that's something that I'm going to be just looking at in terms of sentiment. What are people on Twitter saying? What are people in the YouTube comments saying? Is everyone screaming for the death of Bitcoin and that we're definitely not getting a bounce? Or is everyone saying we might get a bounce, but it's going to be a small one? What's the deal? Because I think we're getting a big one. 𝗪𝗏, he was looking at a very, very interesting indicator. I think it might have been this one right here. The what is this, the 50-day moving average or something like that. It doesn't really matter. He was looking at a somewhat long-term daily moving average line, and he was saying that we're very, very far away from it. And when we're very far away from it, in this case we're about $9,000 away, but if we're looking at the 200-day moving average, we're much more. We're like $20,000 away. When we get too far away from moving averages like this, we do tend to kind of snap back towards them. Doesn't mean we will, but that's what tends to happen, okay? And what I really pride myself on as an analyst is reminding myself about these facts of reality when they're hard to believe, like right now. This is when you remind yourself about it. It's not to say that I'm convincing myself that we're definitely going to snap back to them at all, but I think the odds of that happening are good, and I'm willing to expect something like that to happen. So there you go. That's quite an in-depth video on why I think Bitcoin could be ready to slip below 20k, where it could be going. Just to be very clear, I'm still super bullish on Bitcoin long term. I haven't sold anything, and I'm happy to be in that position. I sold enough Bitcoin when we were trading at around $57,000 because I bought my mom a house, and I also bought a few cars around those levels. But since then I haven't cashed out, and I'm happy with that. I don't have a problem with it. I fully expect that the recovery is going to come, that a recovery is going to come, and that we're actually going to surpass our previous all-time high and everything like that. Obviously right now it's just, it's a tense time, with the economy at the moment. I mean, the S&P 500 just completely shit the bed over the last 3 trading day sessions, and right now it's not doing as badly, but we're not in safe territory. The dollar has just shot up. I mean, it's at a new yearly high right now. It's even surpassed yesterday's level. So I mean, that says a lot about, yeah, I mean, look at this recovery right here. If we zoom in, look at this. The dollar ended up dropping again, and it still recovered back up. So it's strong. These are not factors that are conducive to a bullish market for crypto, and I'm not ignoring these facts. Those are not good things. Again, for me, the one thing that I just want to remind you guys about is that this bullish sentiment that we know about Bitcoin can return very quickly. The only reason people buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is because they want to speculate and they want to make money. And so as soon as it looks like these things can make you money again, you're going to be more inclined to get in. That's exactly why all of these shitcoins right here have blown up to be as big as they are. It's purely because people want to speculate to make money. Once those reasons go, you drop by 22% in a week, by 30% in a week, by 31, by 28. You start dropping pretty harshly. Actually, a lot of these coins didn't drop as badly as Bitcoin, but obviously this data isn't so real now because the drop already happened yesterday. So it's not quite fair to be comparing it that way. But bottom line, what we did have was yeah, a situation here where money is going to move out of the altcoin market into Bitcoin, and primarily into the dollar, and I think we've seen a bit of that distribution happening right there. So there you go. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Get ready for the next one. I'm going to be uploading it hopefully later on tonight, maybe a live stream. We'll see. If I have time, I will do a live stream later on tonight. If you have enjoyed this one, do me a favor and smash up the likes, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. If you do want to take advantage of our huge 50% discount, check it out with the first link in the description down below. That's where you're going to find the steps on how to join 𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗧 VIP, where you can watch me trading, get all the details of everything I'm doing, including these trades that I've already planned for right now in real time inside of VIP. And if you want to trade on the very same platform that I'm using and you want to get paid for it, essentially you want to get some free money to do it, then all you got to do is sign up to Bybit with my link in the description down below, and then make your first deposit. It's a very quick, painless process, and you get free money for doing it. So definitely check it out. Hope you have enjoyed this video though. You know what to do if you have, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.